All right. Hi, and welcome to Thanks Again Film Podcast, episode 19. I'm going to call it 19. Predator Badlands. The new Predator movie. I started thinking about it a minute ago, and I thought, why not just turn the camera on and not camera, but hit the audio. Um, Also, it's cold. It's 42 degrees out, and I've got the heater going. So if you hear anything in the background, that low hum. Hold on. See, that can't be helped. Predator Badlands. I didn't go to the theater to watch it, and I wanted to. I really did. Because of Prey. I think it's by the people who made Prey on it. And that went straight to Hulu. And I remember I read an article or something, people were talking about it. Why didn't the characters from Prey show up in the new movie? Some people say that they did. And people just missed it. And I'm guessing it's at the very end. That spaceship that shows up. I'm guessing that spaceship is a spaceship that collected what's her name. Which is the big fault of this movie that I have. And it's not that the Prey actress wasn't in it. It's the big fault that I have is that when I first saw the trailer for this movie, I thought, oh wow, that's something interesting and new. That's a lady predator running around with a Chewbacca on her back. I thought that was the coolest thing ever. It would have taken the series someplace that it hasn't been before, because when I was watching Prey, I expected it to be around every corner. Is it? So I had to adjust. I remember there was the last trailer. The last trailer spoiled it for me when I was like, that's not a lady. And then I saw the actor on Instagram, and I was like, yeah, they did something different. And the tone of the movie shifted. It changed. And this character shows up who feels the need to prove himself. And it's not that I'm pushing for anything or expecting anything. What I'm saying is, and it's not an opinion of, what do they call it? They call it wokeness of people seeing another side. I'm not trying to dial in on any of that. I'm saying I think it's a stronger story if they have a lady predator show up. In that scenario. if you have a woman going out, if the Native American people, typically, if you pick up an encyclopedia or any sort of tribal hunting thing, they say the word hunter gatherer. And typically the mind goes to a bunch of dudes running out in the forest with nunchucks. and and then they bring back a deer or a frog or something. And then everyone puts it on a stick and everybody's happy. But that means that the gather idea is ladies only, of ladies going out and going fruits and berries and the vegetables, planting, farming. The guys would be out shooting and hunting. The idea of that is not all tribes get along. So if another tribe shows up, the guys are out there preparing to get killed. And they don't want their wife out there preparing to get killed. Because in that scenario, the guys do not want to babysit. If you have a job to do that is babysitting, and you see a mom and a dad, 9 times out of 10, you're going to say, hand it over to mom. It goes back to me personally when I was watching the Wonder Woman movie. Every time this subject comes up, it's Wonder Woman on the docks. Because I don't think there's a man alive who would have written that. Where the superhero shows up in town and there's a crying baby. No way Superman does that. Superman runs over and tries to say, oh, how cute, a crying baby. It doesn't happen. But you see Wonder Woman do it, and it fits. Now, in the Prey movie, they have a lady going out in Native American culture to go do hunter-gatherer. And she's so good at it that she's invented new weapons. She's got like a boomerang javelin or something. She's an archer. She's got like some, I forgot what it was. She's got like a boomerang spear where she throws it out. It kills the target, pins it to the tree, and then she yanks the rope and it comes right back to her. And she can keep stabbing whatever's close. There's all sorts of stuff in that movie about hunting. And for the life of me, I thought they were going to throw a lady predator at her. And it doesn't happen. And then the new movie comes out, Badlands, written by the same people, I think. And I get the impression it would have been a predator lady, two ladies out there storming around. And it doesn't happen. They built a movie where the feminine character is like baggage, robotic baggage. The war man just wants her to he wants to be able to program her to shut her up. The bottom half of her is gone, which means he has to deal with the intellectual part, I guess. And he's growling at it. I mean, it's commentary. It's smart satire. If that's what they were doing. Uh, but where before I started this, where I was I was thinking about the main plot. And the main plot is basic hero's journey. Someone wants to go out and kill the wildebeest and come back home a hero. And I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining, but the movie's fun. Right up until the point where it ends. It's British writing where they do this thing of where your expectations will lead, and then they'll give you that story and then say, well, now what? And it'll pique your interest to see, okay, well, where does this go? Because about a third of the way into the movie, mission accomplished. He kills the great wildebeest. The one that no one in the tribe could ever kill. The great monster that is like a 7-headed hydra. He manages to do it. Then you're looking at a scenario where he's like the greatest predator warrior ever. And if I'm not mistaken, the story actually is over by then. But there's more. There's like a whole nother 45 minutes that from first watch is kind of unnecessary. The other thing that bugged me was, I mean, I like the movie. I've watched it twice. I like the movie, but the one other thing that bugged me is that It's at the end. The idea is that he wants to be part of the tribe. He's trying to get his stealth weapon and become a member of the tribe. But the main character, his whole idea is that he wants to be part of the tribe. So what's in the way of that is his dad. And his dad and his people have traditions of how to be a predator. And part of the story is that he's not mean enough, or he's holding attachments because his brother gets in trouble. His dad sees both of those two as weaklings because they're not willing to cut each other down. So what struck me as odd, I'm not sure how to phrase this, but he's going to go out in this story, he's going to go out and build a second tribe. He's saying, "Oh no, that's not the way to be a predator. I need to have family around me. I need to have my brother." And his dad is saying, "No, you don't. You cut him down if he's trying to weaken you with that kind of emotion." So what happens is this predator, he's going to go out and he's going to build a tribe of the caring, feeling type of people who care about him, that support him being a warrior. And by the end of it, it looks like he has this clan of his own that can accomplish just about anything. But they don't know anything about the traditions of being a predator. It's like, good for you, but your traditions are gone. Now, if that's the case, then what they're suggesting is that the traditions need to be changed. That the predator character needs to not be a monster. I mean, it is on Disney Plus. The new Predator movie is on Disney Plus right now. So the plot of the story has a dad showing up and telling one son to go cut down the other for staying in the cave too long. He's no good. At being a predator, he stayed in the cave too long. And when he shows up, he gets He is beaten half to death. So the dad shows up and says, "Is the job done?" And the son's reply is, "Dad, I don't want to say I got beat, but he's ready to go handle the great wildebeest that you couldn't handle. So I say that we just let him go die trying that." Now the dad is looking at both of them, and he's this great predator warrior of the clan is saying, "I've got one son who's stuck in the cave and he won't go out and be a predator. He's no good. I'm getting rid of him. And I've got the other son who can't beat him." So he's standing there like they both have to go. But on the other side of it is this son who's saying, "I've developed all these skills and I'm the greatest warrior the clan has ever seen." And his brother saying, "You've bested me at this, at my challenge. You are worthy of being a predator." So the dad's reply is, something else happens, if I remember correctly. He puts the son, he says, "I gave you a task to do. Now go do it." And he says no. He should go try the wildebeest. So the dad so the dad is a great warrior. And this is where the plot of the story starts. Since the son that he sent on a mission doesn't listen, he decides to cut him down. And the other son is saying, "No, that's my family." I haven't figured out how to phrase this, how to phrase any of this stuff in this movie yet. But the dad disagrees. The dad is saying that is not how I think it's called Khajiit, or no, that's Khajiit is Dragon Age Origins, I think. No, that's Star Wars. No, That's that's Elder Scrolls. Could you eat Skyrim? It's not what a predator is. Predator, supposedly so far, is a monster from a monster movie. So this story is amusing because you could take one side of it and say, okay, the hero's journey, and he's on a quest, and he's gonna heal the world, and they're gonna be better. On the other side of it, it could say that he failed, and by trying to be a hero, because if the story defines this character as a predator, then things are different. And if you're going based on that, the Predator, the Alien franchise is similar and they do crossovers. So the Alien franchise is famous for it. They have what is it? The perfect organism. The xenomorph is described as being the perfect organism. And it's just the nastiest creature. There's a great shot of it in Alien 3. Alien 3 has some great shots of the xenomorph. But there's this great shot of the xenomorph. There's two great shots of the xenomorph, I think. And one of them is in Alien 3 when Ripley and the prayerful convict monk are trapped and sandwiched and they're backing away in his close quarters, and the alien creature is squeezing through to get to them in the same corridor. It's a tight hallway, and there's enough room for it to move forward. It could just walk forward. But it's so chaotic that it's rampaging against the walls. And this is a giant black monster just charging forward, and it's nasty. And you look at it and it's got smooth polished edges. It looks designed. It's the weirdest thing where it's just stay away from me. It's creepy. It's got hands. There's something about it is like if you have a weapon, even that doesn't seem like enough. You're gonna attack it. You're gonna use your sword or something and smack it, and then it's gonna spray you with acid. You have to shoot that thing from far away, or hit it with fire. Ripley just keeps chucking it out into space because the thing's going to damage the ship somehow. And I haven't had a proper answer on if it can survive the vacuum of space. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I could have sworn that thing got chucked out into space and climbed back onto the ship. Anyway, it's described as being perfect. And if I'm going by those rules, then the dad might have it right in this story. And the reason why I said that, I think I already said it. The reason why I say that is because the main character, he's going to waltz through and try and prove himself to his father and say, "Look what I can do. I can conquer this monster. I can build a community. He said I don't need people." He cut his brother down. I can build this community around me. And he shows back up with this band of creatures and robots who helped him conquer the great wildebeest. He has a toolkit, which is what makes predators neat. They show up with all sorts of weapons and tools. And that's how he sees it. He's like, "You're a tool. I'll use you to defeat the enemy." But he's lying to himself because he ends up caring about them. And the dad stands there and he sees it. And the problem with it is that this band that he's created around him, none of them care about the predator traditions. He is a predator that should move forward. But what the movie presents at the end is that his clan's no good. The old clan's no good. And the new clan is what's needed. Of letting outsiders in. None of them have a monster face. You can't make new predators with that robot. He didn't kill the great wildebeest. He tamed it. So he shows up with a weapon that his dad struggles with. Which is the seven-headed hydra. Once you could chop his head off, it's just gonna grow two new ones. It's another nasty creature. I don't know what to make of this Predator movie. I have a feeling I have an idea of what it's pointing to, but what I'm going to point to, maybe he is worse, because no matter he'll draw people in and just use them as tools. He's got some sort of mental at a glance. The story looks like one of those stories about community. Self versus community. He values his family, his brother, and his dad doesn't. And this weird is theatrical. It's amazing. Because the person who shows up, the person being judged is the one in the cave. But who ends up getting hurt and being judged is the one sent to cut him down. That it's a neat bit of writing. And then if it's that, then you could turn it around and say, well, you're not following the lore. So if you follow, that's the thing about it. The Predator is a monster. Like the alien, it's a monster, it's a hunter. If they change that, then I don't know. Does it keep the same value system of tearing everything up in sight? It looks for the most difficult challenge. That's the nature of the creature, is that it's a hunter. And it looks for and hunts the most difficult challenge. And keeps his skull as a trophy or a weapon or something from the event. So at the end of the story, you see you see this predator who is technically qualified, and he's one of them. But he has this group around him that has a familiar, a sidekick. He has a robot sidekick, a familiar. It was borderline romance. I don't know. The presence of the robot alone makes things seem off, because in the past when they've shown predators, they all show up and it's only the clan. They aren't riding the great wildebeest and handing out high fives and listening to how everyone's doing. The predator creature tends to show up in a place where it expects to be killed. And it goes invisible and it uses a laser target on his shoulder to just zap whatever it is to death. So if it's fighting in stealth, it just zaps things to death. Whatever is after can get past that. They don't show up riding wild tigers and have robots scout the area. I don't know what to think because I'm siding more with the dad on the story. Technically, he didn't kill the great wildebeest. Technically, he did kill it. That's what's so awesome about it, is that he set out to do this thing, is that kill the monster that no other predator can, and he does it. But if anyone in that group had told him about it or supported him, he might have figured out that the thing grows his head back. He could have prepared for that and won. And then the story would be there wouldn't be a robot or anything. He just dragged the beast back home and then what? So in this story, there's another component, another part of it where there's a robot, the robot lady, and she's basically the reason why he doesn't die in the movie. It's her in the familiar, and in her story, she has a sister, and her storyline is the complete reverse of his, where he has a brother that cares about him and wants him to be part of the clan. And in her storyline, she has a competitive sister. Um, I don't know. Based on that's the thing about this movie. Based on the storyline, she's worthy to join the clan. she's worthy to join the clan. The little wildebeest is a, if you're thinking of predators, he's a type of tool that they probably always wanted. Something that difficult to kill. And he's capable of killing everything. He kind of, come to think of it, he kind of ends his story without a scratch on him. Based on the first Predator movie, that one was beaten half to death. He needed a hospital. There was blood on him. Um, okay, my thoughts are there are two sides. On one side, if the dad is right, from the standpoint of what is this story trying to tell me? What is the meaning of this story? And from the standpoint of there's two camps. That means that if the dad is right, then both of his sons deserve to die. Both of his sons deserve to die in this story for not, I don't know, for not showing up soon enough, for spending too much time in the cave. And for not doing what he told them to do. On the other hand, if the son is right, then this healing journey for the predators happens, of where they open up and accept more community. I think the idea of the story is saying that the strength of their clan isolation isn't, it's hard to put my finger on. There's something about uh, the solo isolation, me first, all that stuff isn't what's needed. It's the self. I think they're saying that community is best for the predators. And they kind of get away with it because they do a shortcut of him saying that everyone around him during this journey helping him is a tool. He's still the big monster walking around. So far, the most dangerous one, because he was able to kill that wildebeest. Yeah, it's kind of a survival of the fittest. He fights his father at the end. So I don't know. To some degree, you could throw the whole story away. You could throw the entire story away, come to think of it, and just pick up right at the end where they have the same conversation of should you be in the clan or not? And he wins. I don't know what to think. He beat the the Callus, Gurthalis, and his dad. He didn't use his friends to do it either. I have to watch the ending again. So the idea is that this story is possibly saying, I think the two face off at the end. So either it's saying community is best, or the whole thing could be a type of cautionary tale that's saying, I had to think about this for a while, that's saying respect your elders. Or you'll end up losing your traditions, and you'll find yourself in a future where you'll have to make things up, and there's an uncertainty to that. Now, I felt that sense more after watching the movie. When the clean shows up and he's standing there with his newfound family, I didn't get a sense that that was the proper way for predators to be in the future. I doubt it doesn't seem like a cooler monster movie to have that giant monster show up and then he's got a team of wildebeest and robots and things hanging out. It seemed like a cooler premise that if you see a predator or something, they're probably alone. And they're on a giant hunt for something. But it's a really entertaining movie. Um, yeah, it's full of action. It's a good character. I would there's a handful of stuff in it that I would have changed. I would have made him completely silent. I would have only made him grunt and stuff. That is an ugly monster. That is an ugly monster they have walking and talking. I would have given all his dialogue over to her. But it's a good movie. I recommend it. Okay, thanks for listening.